Welcome to the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show, a broadcast service of globalbusinessnews.net.
Now, here's your host, Ed Cohen.
This is Ed in San Diego, and you're again on Global TV Talk Show on the globalbusinessnews.net network. Our very special guest today is an old friend, Maryann Hrichak. Did I pronounce that right?
Hrichak. Just forget
Hrichak.
the H's there in the beginning.
Great. Okay. So is that background Eastern European or Malta?
It's a jumble. Czechoslovakian, former Austro-Hungary, some Carpatho-Russian, not Russian. Yeah. One of my cousins actually did a family history for our last family reunion last year. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, we have background also, but not as glamorous as that.
I would hardly call it glamorous.
It's kind of a mixture of Polish, Ukraine, and Mexico, not Mexico, I'm sorry, Italy and Spain. So it's
good. I'm glad you got the Mediterranean in there.
Yeah. So basically, I live that and forget the other.
Good.
Okay. So Maryann, you're in San Francisco area and I'm in San Diego, and California is a unique place. Of course, it always has been, but with about, I don't know how many people left California, you still can't get around anywhere. So you don't even notice people leaving, right?
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in San Francisco, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't come downtown anymore.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, they just stay out in Silicon Valley or East Valley there.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many people do you know who relocated from the city or closer in suburbs out to like Tracy and Stockton?
I don't know anybody that's done that. If
That's
have
quite a drive, yeah.
Relocated, they have gone other places than California.
Yeah, right.
Tracy and Stockton are very far away.
Yeah, a world away too.
Yeah.
If they ever build that bullet train, that would be a different story, but
that's the long time coming.
Not going to happen, right? We're going to talk about your recent experience. I'm reading this. Branding and networking, cultural intelligence. All this was part of your experience recently at the Tech Women gathering. Now you've been involved with Tech Women for a while, right? And
yeah, about 10 years since the program started.
Tell us, what is Tech Women, and is it Africa based or is it?
No,
what?
It is a U.S. Department of State sponsored program by the Bureau of Education and Cultural Affairs, implemented in the Bay Area by the Institute of International Education. It was started by Hillary Clinton in 2011, and her idea came out of Obama's speech in Cairo in 2009, after he was first elected, to better relations with the Muslim world. So the first 2 years of the program, the countries involved were just the MENA region, the Middle East and North Africa. And the first year there were 6 countries and 37 women. The second year there were 8 countries and 41 women. Wow. This past year, there were 20 countries and 112 women. So it has grown phenomenally over the decade.
Takes a village. Yeah.
It does. So what the program does is bring women from the Middle East, Africa, South and Central Asia to work in Silicon Valley companies on a 5-week mentorship program.
Even now in the pandemic era.
So last year, nobody came, so everything was virtual. This past year, we had a hybrid program because not everybody was back in the office. So a lot of things were still virtual, but there were some very, very few in-person meetings. And most people did not get a chance to go to their office in person, which may have been a disappointment because, you know, you get all these big names and everybody wants to go see the office in Silicon Valley and stuff like that. But in addition to the mentorship, there are also cultural events that happen. A lot of those were in person. And then my role has been as an impact coach, which means I work with a specific country team of women in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, to help them design a plan, a social impact plan of what they're going to do when they return home after the program. And this year I worked with a team from Jordan. There were supposed to be 6 women. 1 woman didn't get her visa in time, so she couldn't come. So there were 5 women, all super smart, super intelligent, super accomplished, that came up with a plan called Her Way. And what that was, they were going to implement a program back in Jordan, first in public high schools in Amman, and then spread it out throughout the country for 16 to 18-year-old, again, public high school girls, to teach them financial literacy and soft skills. Great idea. So each country team comes up with their own project, and then they compete for seed grants. So 5 out of the 20 countries won a seed grant. Jordan, unfortunately, didn't win, because as you can imagine, there are phenomenal ideas of the impact these women can have in their country when they go back home.
And this was virtual.
Yes.
Right. So how'd you deal with the time zones? It's what, 10?
No.
11?
They came here. The women actually came here this time.
Yeah.
Last year, the time zone thing was a big challenge, let me tell you.
Yeah, 10, 11 hours. Boy.
We had to have, and last year I worked with a team from Egypt. So we had to have all our meetings over our lunchtime here, because that was their evening there. And they've done their work day, they've done dinner, they've done whatever. So it was challenging last year.
Yeah.
This episode from the meeting room of Global TV Talk Show is brought to you by Porch Light Rental and Destination Services. Reduce your renter lump sum or managed relocation costs. Visit them at porchlightrental.com.
And by airs.com. With our full range of services, we can help design and manage your international relocation. Find us at airs.com.
Primestone Partners, featuring corporate, government, and developer housing solutions, as well as senior-level advisory services. Find them at primestonepartners.com.
Stop dreaming and start living overseas. International lifestyle consultant Emily Braun can help you seamlessly transition to your new life in your dream destination. Whether you are a retiree, a digital nomad, or a mobile executive, Emily Braun can make your transition overseas a success. Visit emilybraun.com.
Coutalis is a global group with a worldwide footprint. With 16 agencies in 10 countries, Coutalis offers companies and mobile professionals a unique combination of HR services and options. Find us at coutalis.com.
Take your communication skills to the next level. Barbara Bolt of Bolt Global has a passion to make you shine. As our globe expands, effective intercultural communication and presentation is a must. Visit boltglobal.com.
Okay, so I'm really interested in this from a journalist point of view, because I think it's a great story and ongoing. And of course, this has nothing to do with CIA, though. It's just reaching out, right?
No, not
Cool.
to my knowledge anyway.
Yeah, right. But it's a really good idea. But you
It's
would
a
think
fabulous idea.
they would.
He-
Why do they need the U.S. to do that? Why don't they just do it on their own, or do it with Europe?
That's a good question. I don't know. It was Hillary Clinton's idea. So she's
Yeah.
the one that brought this whole smart women, smart technology. She's the one that brought this whole idea to bear fruit.
So
And
she and I happen to be about the same age, and she went to Wellesley College when I went to at the time I was at Babson College, which was less than a mile down the street
okay,
in Wellesley, Massachusetts, outside Boston. And I didn't know her at the time, but I heard of her because at the time I was dating a gal from Wellesley, and Hillary was a big deal on campus.
I'm sure.
She was like a political leader back, an organizer.
Right.
Oh, let's do this. I was out playing ball or something, and she was organizing political things.
Uh-huh.
So it was a long time ago. Anyway,
We had the opportunity.
nothing's changed.
Yeah, that's true. We had the opportunity to meet her the first year of the program. Because the other thing is, in a normal year, whatever that's going to be like going forward, the program is in the Bay Area for 4 weeks, and then we go to DC for 4 or 5 days to meet with State Department because they pay for everything. And they want to make sure they're getting their money's worth. So the first year of the program, Hillary was then Secretary of State. So we had an opportunity to meet with her briefly, and then she addressed our luncheon. It's pretty impactful.
Yeah, they'll remember it forever, those people. Okay, so I'm looking at notes here from your site. Cultural intelligence and tech women, branding, these are topics, branding and networking in the virtual era. Yeah, I'd like to get back to that in a minute. Managing globally remote teams, which is not new, but it's an ongoing challenge.
Right.
How do you do it?
Yeah.
All right. Taking a product going global, of course, using Zoom is the way to do it, if you can find people to listen and watch. And leveraging LinkedIn, that's what I've built my business on. So I get it. I think that's a great idea of teaching people, it doesn't have to be women, anybody, how to do it right. And, it takes a lot of effort.
Yes, it does.
Not a lot of people are disciplined to follow through in that, I'm finding. Okay, so
the other thing I want to add is these women are all incredibly super motivated because this has become a very competitive program. There were over 4,000 applicants this year for 112 positions.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
so what happened to the other 3,000? For 3,900.
They will reapply, believe me. People apply 3 and 4 times until they actually get in.
Will you send them a video or recordings of what went on, so to engage them right away rather than wait?
No, there's no need to do that. The program has its own momentum, believe me. And then once you've been here in the Silicon Valley and you go back home, you can share. They meet with people at their embassies, and there's different events that the embassy has to connect former tech women with current tech women. Once they've completed the program, they're called fellows. So and a lot of the women themselves have known past participants from the program, which is how they heard about the program or got involved. And the other thing, IIE, the Institute of International Education, they have been around for over 100 years, and they have offices globally. So with their offices on the ground, they can also do a lot of the recruiting, but I think there's probably not a lot of recruiting that needs to happen anymore because the program has gained such momentum.
So these aren't young women who are all, the question is backwards. Wait a minute. Are these women mainly privileged women in their countries? Or are they...
Some of them are, but not all of them are. Mm-hmm. So to actually apply for the program, you have to have a university degree in science, technology, engineering, or math, plus 2 years of work experience. And a lot of these women already have master's degrees, and some of them are pursuing PhDs.
Oh, wow.
And they have families and jobs. And, I sit here in the United States thinking, how do you do all that?
Wow.
But they do.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so is there something in the US that's similar?
Not to my knowledge.
Sounds like a plan, doesn't it?
What in the US, meaning what? That women from the US would go overseas and do something similar, or
no,
what?
just keep it within the US. Like it sounds like there should be something here. Women in STEM in San Diego, for instance, or
I see.
Women in STEM in Silicon Valley, or
there's plenty of women in tech things going on. But the beauty of this program is that it's global. And really, I think it's the best thing in global citizen diplomacy ever, because friendships and work relationships develop from this program. And a lot of times people are paired, they're put in corporate housing when they're here, and they're paired with a roommate, probably from a country they've never been to. So, and a lot of the women themselves have never been out of their own home country before they do tech women. Some of them have, but a lot of them have not.
Well, that would
So,
be really strange going into a 2-bedroom corporate apartment and say, well, hello.
well, it's amazing what happens because this program is only 5 weeks. It's so impactful for everybody involved, including the mentors like myself, that you form relationships with people that you wouldn't normally form a relationship with if you were just on another program. It's the intensity of the 5 weeks. It's pretty much nonstop when they're here. I needed a week off after they left this year, believe me. Because you do a lot of running around. But the other thing, the bonus of the pandemic was that because some of the things were virtual, we didn't have to travel between San Francisco and Mountain View and Sunnyvale and the East Bay. And so we could do a lot of that virtual. So that saved a lot of time, not trying to put people on buses and get them shuttled from point A to point B. But there's nothing like the in-person experience, believe me.
Yeah, right. So I thank you for sharing this information. I'm really interested. Is there is there a place for our audience can go and get info other than
Yes,
reach out to you?
if you go to techwomen, techwomen.org, you'll find many things there. And the other thing I want to mention is normally there's one program a year, because last year everything was virtual. They decided to do 2 programs this year. So we just finished the spring program, and there's going to be another one in October 2022. And the thing about it being a hybrid program, partially virtual, is you don't actually have to be in the Silicon Valley to be a mentor for the program.
Right, you use this.
Right, exactly. You use Zoom. We had people all over the country this year being mentors. I mean, to be a cultural mentor, you need to be in the Bay Area, but to be an impact coach or a professional mentor where you are matched with someone that would come to your company, technically come to your company, you could be anywhere.
So this has really been an interesting thing. My mind is whipping around ideas right now about how perhaps we could turn this into a TV series, you and me. And
I don't know if State Department would want that, or IIE. I don't know if they would want a TV series out of this whole thing.
oh, but we could discuss it though.
Maybe.
We are pleased to welcome Adamo Education as a proud sponsor of Global TV Talk Show.
The concept of a micro school is the reimagining of the one-room schoolhouse. My name is Tamara Becker. I'm the president and CEO of Adamo Education. The micro school concept really does not just lend itself to the personalization and the customization of learning, but also the social development and fostering that sense of love for learning. Unlike what we see in traditional brick and mortar schools, we have multiple grade levels in the same learning space. Students can be enriched by the socialization that they get, as well as the academic support from peers. What differentiates Adamo is the fact that we are taking the best pieces of brick and mortar, of digital, and then at-home learning. Students here can come 5 days a week. They can come 4 hours a day. It will really just depend on what is best for the student and for the parent. To enroll, just reach out via phone, text, or email, and we'll have that personalized conversation, and we'll be able to get you all set. Check us out at adamoeducation.org.
Become a global player in your field.
Cross Culture to Go provides virtual support for your global business and career success.
We can help you thrive in 140 plus countries and markets.
On the web at crossculturetogo.com.
So give me some guidance on that when we get off the show.
I wanted to mention one other thing. So in a normal pre-pandemic time, every year there are delegation trips to one of the program countries, where the mentors actually go to one of the countries to see what's happened since the women have participated in the program, and talk about intercultural, cross-cultural, any kind of global learning. It's there because for the 10 days that the mentors participate in a delegation program overseas, it's a very mini version of what the women experience when they're here in the Silicon Valley. But it's great to see.
And the State Department pays for that?
Oh, no. The State Department doesn't pay for that. Unfortunately, it would be great if the State Department paid for that. Nope, everybody pays their own way.
Fascinating.
Yep.
Okay, audience, you can reach Maryann Hrichak to see her name and find her on LinkedIn. And is there a site, a website?
www.techwomen.org. techwomen.org.
Great. Thanks for being on the show again. And this
Thanks
is
for having
really
me, Ed.
interesting. And hope to see you in another upcoming program we produce.
Always fun to interact with you. Thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, see you. Bye.
Thanks. This is Ed in San Diego signing off. That's Maryann in San Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show.
Have a wonderful day, and stay safe.